If you pick Snorlax as your favorite Pokemon, I need you to hear something and you're not gonna love it. Your finances might be doing the same exact thing Snorlax does. Just sitting there and blocking the road, not moving, and everybody else has to work around it. Today we're going to talk about the money patterns I see creators fall into all the time and what your favorite Pokemon might actually say about how you handle your money. So when I was a kid, I watched Pokemon every single morning. I had a bowl of cereal in front of me. I was parked in front of the TV. I was just totally locked in before I had to go to school. And there's this one episode I still think about every now and then, and it's called Princess vs. Princess. Basically, there's this big shopping festival in the episode where all the stores are running 70, 80, 90% off sales. And Misty, who's normally pretty level-headed, just kind of loses it. She's buying everything in sight. And then meanwhile, Jessie from Team Rocket is out there just maxing out the Team Rocket company credit card and just hoping they can handle the damage. And then the whole time, the guys, Ash, Brock, and even James from Team Rocket, just standing there holding bags, completely buried in stuff that nobody actually needed. And I remember watching this episode as a kid thinking it was hilarious, but now as a financial planner, this episode's basically a documentary. If you think about it, when you have a big brand deal hit or a launch does really well, and suddenly your spending matches the income that you have coming in instead of letting the system catch up first. So the money comes in and it goes right back out. Sometimes on stuff that feels justified in the moment, but there's no plan behind it. That's what we're getting into today. The money patterns I see creators fall into over and over, and how to actually address these money patterns before they end up costing you. Hi, I'm Brad Clark, and this is Money Made Easy for content creators. I am a certified financial planner, and I co-own Finchley Finance, a finance company that was built specifically for content creators and creative business owners. And on this podcast, we break down the financial stuff that actually matters to your business so you can stop worrying about money and just get back to creating. So let's jump in. All right, so we're talking about the money patterns today, and specifically the three I think are most common and most dangerous for content creators. And to keep things fun, we're just going to name each one after a Pokemon character, because why not? So let's start with the big one, the Snorlax. If you know Pokemon, you know exactly what Snorlax does. It sleeps and that's it. It just lays in the middle of the road and it blocks everything and it will not move until you make it move. And that's what a lot of creators, I feel, do with their finances. Not because they're lazy, that's not what I'm saying. It's just most creators are some of the hardest working people out there. But when it comes to money, it just gets pushed to the side. It's like the tab you don't open or the email from your accountant that you'll just get back to later. It's the retirement account you know you should set up but haven't because you've been busy shipping content every single week. The problem with Snorlax and its pattern is that it can compound, and not in a good way, in the bad way. The longer you avoid looking at your money, the messier it can get. Taxes may pile up, spending can go unchecked, and opportunities to save or invest may just pass you by. And then one day you finally sit down and look at everything, and it can feel so overwhelming that you just close the laptop and go right back to sleep. Here's the fix, and it's more simple than you think. You don't have to overhaul your entire financial life in a weekend. Just start by looking. Open your bank accounts, open your business bank account, look at what came in last month, and look at what went out. That's it. You're not trying to fix anything here. You're just waking up. Because you can't build a financial system if you don't know what you're working with. Snorlax doesn't move until you play the Pokeflute. Consider this episode your Pokeflute. Okay, pattern 2. We're calling this one the Jessie, after Jessie from Team Rocket in that episode I just mentioned earlier. The one where she grabs the company credit card and just goes to town. This is a good representation of lifestyle creep. And it's sneaky because it doesn't feel like a problem when it's happening. Here's how it usually goes. You land the big brand deal, or your channel has a great quarter, or a launch does way better than you expected, and suddenly you're upgrading things. New apartment, new car, new gear, you're eating better meals. You're going to fly first class instead of economy. And none of those things are inherently bad. You work hard, you should be able to enjoy your money. But the issue is when your spending rises at the same exact rate as your income, because when that happens, it doesn't matter how much you make, you're not actually getting ahead in any way. And for creators specifically, this can be extra dangerous because your income isn't a steady paycheck. You might have a huge month followed by 2 slow ones. So if your lifestyle is calibrated to your best month, those slower months are going to start to hurt. The fix here is building a gap between what you earn and what you spend. And a way to do that is to set up a system where money gets allocated before you have a chance to spend it. So when income comes in, a percentage goes to taxes, another percentage goes to savings or investments, and what's left is what you actually live on. You decide those percentages once, then you automate it, and then you don't have to really think about it every time you get paid. The system does work. You just have to stop swiping the Team Rocket credit card. And by the way, if you're listening and you're thinking, I don't even know where to start with setting that up, that's the exact thing that we help build for creators at Finchley Finance. We help set up a financial system, we manage it, and you get back to creating. If you want someone just to handle it, go ahead and book a first look call at finchley.com. All right, let's keep going. This last one's my favorite, the Magikarp. And this one might be the most important for content creators specifically. If you know Pokemon, you know Magikarp. It has one move, which is Splash. And Splash does absolutely nothing. Magikarp just kind of flops around looking like it's doing something, but nothing is actually happening. And I think a lot of content creators are in this spot financially as well. Money comes in, content is going out, and it looks like things are working, but underneath there's no real structure. So there might not be any sort of emergency fund, no retirement account, and no plan for what happens if the algorithm changes tomorrow or a brand deal falls through. And here's the things that makes this pattern so specific to creators is, again, your income is unpredictable by nature. You might have a month where 3 brand deals land at once, and then 2 months where all you get is AdSense. That inconsistency can make it really tempting to skip the fundamentals. It's hard to set up an emergency fund when you're not sure what next month looks like. It's also hard to contribute to a retirement account when your income swings up and down. So a lot of creators just don't. They keep just splashing around. The other piece of the platform is dependence. If most of your income comes from one source, just one platform or one type of deal or one revenue stream, that can be a risk. The algorithms change, the platforms change their payout structure, and brand deals budgets shift. If your entire financial life is built off one income stream, you can be one bad quarter away from being in real trouble. So the fix can be building a baseline. So first, maybe an emergency fund. Even if you start small, whatever you can set aside consistently. Something that gives you a cushion when the income dips. And second, get at least one retirement account open and start contributing, even if the amount is just going to vary from month to month. It doesn't need to be the same every month. A SEP IRA or a solo 401k are both built for self-employed people, and they're flexible enough to handle variable income. And then third, start thinking about diversifying how you earn. If you're only making money from one platform, what's one more revenue stream you could build? An affiliate income, maybe a digital product, an email list, just something that isn't tied to a single algorithm is what I'm getting at. But here's the good news for you guys. Magikarp evolves into Gyarados, and if you know Pokemon, you know Gyarados is one of the most powerful Pokemon in the game. The potential's already there. You just can't keep splashing around forever. You got to build the structure, build the safety net, and the income you're already earning starts working way harder for you. So let's bring it back. We've covered 3 money patterns today, 3 Pokemon characters you don't want to be. The Snorlax, which just sleeping through your financial life. The fix is waking up, looking at your numbers. That's it. That's step 1. You got the Jessie, spending everything as fast as it comes in. And the fix here is building a gap between what you earn and what you spend and letting the system handle it so you don't have to white knuckle it every month. And third, the Magikarp, flopping around without any real structure underneath of it. The fix is just building your baseline, your emergency fund, your retirement account, and diversifying your income. It's the boring stuff that turns Magikarp into Gyarados. And here's the thing, you don't have to fix all three of these at once. Just pick one that sounds like it most represents you right now and just start there. And if you're thinking, I don't even know which one I am, that's okay too. That's what we're here for. That's it for today. I hope you figured out which Pokemon you've been, and more importantly, how to start evolving. If you want help building your financial system the right way, that's what we do at Finchley Finance. It all starts with the first look call. It's free. There's no pressure, no commitment. It's literally just a conversation between us to figure out if we're going to be the right fit and if we can solve any problems that you're having. So you can book one at finchley.com. And if this episode helped you, subscribe, share it with another creator who needs to hear it. It helps more creators find the show. You can also find us on Instagram at Finchley Finance. But thanks for listening. I'm Brad Clark, and this has been Money Made Easy for content creators. Now, go get back to what you love. Brad Clark is a financial advisor, and Lucinda Clark is a registered administrative assistant of Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Finchley Finance is located at 15072 Snowsill Drive, Frisco, Texas, 75035. Brad offers securities through Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, member FINRA, SIPC. Advisory services offered through Cetera Investment Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Cetera is under separate ownership from any other named entity. The views expressed on this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not necessarily those of Cetera. They should not be considered specific advice or recommendations for an individual. Neither Cetera nor its representatives may give legal or tax advice. The views and opinions contained in this material are those of the author and not necessarily the opinion of Cetera, and not a recommendation or solicitation to buy or sell any securities or investment products mentioned herein. This information is from sources believed to be reliable, but Cetera Wealth Services, LLC cannot guarantee or represent that it is accurate or complete. Guests on the show are not affiliated or registered with Cetera Wealth Services, LLC unless specifically stated. Any information provided by the guest is in no way related to Cetera Wealth Services, LLC or its registered representatives. Due to volatility within the markets mentioned, opinions are subject to change without notice. Any references to specific companies, platforms, brands, or products through this podcast, including but not limited to social media platforms, content distribution services, affiliate programs, e-commerce platforms, or consumer brands, are made solely for educational and contextual purposes relevant to the content creator industry and primarily to distinguish a company's goods or services, establish context, and prevent listener confusion. Such references do not constitute a research report, investment recommendation, solicitation, or endorsement of any kind and should not be interpreted as advice to buy, sell, or hold any security instrument or to participate in any particular trading strategy. Finchley Finance and its representatives do not hold Series 86 or 87 registrations and do not publish research reports. Opinions expressed by the owners of this content do not reflect an endorsement by Cetera Wealth Services, LLC, or its affiliates. Any hypothetical examples, scenarios, or case studies discussed in this podcast are illustrative only and do not represent the actual performance of any specific investment, strategy, or individual. Any figures, percentages, dollar amounts, or numerical examples used may be hypothetical or illustrative in nature and are not intended to represent guaranteed outcomes, specific investment returns, or verified third-party data unless explicitly stated otherwise. All information herein has been prepared solely for informational purposes. Past performance does not guarantee future results. All investing involves risk, including the possible loss of principal, and there could be no assurance that any investment strategy may be successful. Words or phrases that may appear absolute, predictive, or superlative in nature, such as will, always, never, best, should, would, or similar language, are used conversationally for clarity and educational purposes only, and should not be interpreted as promises, guarantees, predictions, or endorsements of any specific financial outcome, strategy, or product for any individual listener.